LeBron James urged his nearly 50 million followers on Twitter to shoot a police officer this week. As we discussed earlier, 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant was about to stab a girl before the Ohio officer fatally shot her, saving the girl's life. But the LA Laker targeted the Columbus police officer. He tweeted, "You're next. Accountability," with a picture of that officer. His version wasn't blurred out like ours. Many accused him of inciting cop killers. He deleted the tweet, but then defended himself, saying this: "I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. This isn't about one officer, it's about the entire system." Twitter refuses to say whether LeBron violated its policy. Since it was deleted in the Lakers, the NBA and sponsors, they remain silent. Joining me now for more, former MLB pitcher Curt Schilling. All right, so Curt, if you ever saw LeBron out at a restaurant, would you go over and say anything to him?
No, I have no interest in talking to dumb people. I really don't. Yeah, well, I mean, you've managed to make your way out of the dumb category. Not the liberals though, but it's sad where we're at now, Jesse. I mean, I don't use the term double standard anymore. There's two sets of rules, and they're very clearly delineated. Somebody that sells kids sweatpants at Foot Locker for Kids will tell me as a professional baseball player just to shut up and play baseball. But when you're a liberal, you're allowed to comment on anything and everything. And apparently just being a liberal allows you to be an expert. And if you look at the last 2 or 3 years, some of the worst, stupidest, most ignorant takes on the planet have come from LeBron James' Twitter account.
Yeah, he was really, really adamant about cozying up to China. You can't criticize the communist Chinese. They got slave labor over there. He didn't want anybody criticizing them because Nike has a lot of money invested over there in the mainland. Politics has really infected sports. Ratings have been, I think, down about 4 million a season since the NFL started the kneeling nonsense. You saw what happened with the major leagues in the All-Star game over in Atlanta. I don't know. I don't see a lot of people coming back from something like this. NBA ratings are down, but they weren't really high to begin with. You talk to people. I just don't see people really getting that worked up about watching games that much anymore after
They're
all
not.
this.
They're really not. And as someone who I ate, slept, and breathed baseball, I haven't watched an inning in the last year and a half. And no interest in watching it because, now the Boston Red Sox have LeBron James as an owner and a part owner. And so apparently, based on the left's rules, everything that you say or do represents the entire organization you work with and work for. So LeBron James is speaking for the Boston Red Sox, about the Boston Red Sox, and with the Boston Red Sox's consent and approval. And I have heard nothing different. But, this is a guy who, as he goes, so goes the NBA. No one's watching the NBA anymore for all the right reasons. The most woke and publicly ignorant sport on the planet is just continuing to shoot itself in the foot.
And people love police up in Boston. And I know that LeBron James gets a lot of police protection.
People love police everywhere.
When he walks around.
People love police everywhere.
They do. It's a double standard, and people have to speak up, like we were talking about in the last segment. Yep. You're not afraid. I can tell. No. Curt, thanks for coming on Water's World.
Thanks, Jesse.
Up next, last call.